So this morning we're going to talk about lettuce diseases. The lettuce in our raised beds is growing very well, but it's starting to get some brown tips, probably from the heat and the soil drying out too quick. But it made me want to go over other problems that lettuce can get. It grows quick, but it's also susceptible to disease pretty quick as well. So I want to just go over what problems lettuce can have and how to mitigate them, how to prevent them. One of the biggest problems is downy mildew. That's these little powdery white spores on the underside of the leaf. The top side of the leaf can be kind of brown, wilty, um, and then all of a sudden the whole leaf can turn necrotic pretty quick. That's downy mildew. High humidity and wet leaves cause it. So this high heat, this could be a problem right now. We got high humidity, high heat. If the leaves remain wet, you can see this start to happen. Um, Watering it early in the morning is one of the best ways to prevent it. If you've got a bit of an outbreak, you can use some copper fungicide to help battle that downy mildew. Another one that happens is dampening off. This is more for seedlings when you first plant the lettuce. As you can see, that happens when it seems to be doing perfectly well and then all of a sudden just tip over and it's almost like pinched at the stem. That's dampening off. It's caused by Rhizotenia solani, and that's just a fungal bacteria that thrives in damp, wet soil. So if you're keeping your seedlings too wet and there's those spores in the soil, that can be what causes it. Um, to prevent it, using good soil, pathogen-free soil, and then just making sure that you sanitize your tools as you plant it. Like I said, this one happens right as you start the seedlings, so it's an early on disease, not one that we're going to be seeing later on. So here's what's the matter with our lettuce: some tip burn going on, and what that is it's just brown leaves on the edge. It happens in fast growing types of lettuce, and inconsistent watering and poor calcium uptake are some of the things that cause it. So one neat way to get calcium to your lettuce or to any plants in your garden would be to crush up eggshells, and then just sprinkle some of those around the plants. And that will help release calcium from the eggshell into the ground to get to the lettuce and help it be efficient in its water uptake and prevent this leaf tip burn. Another thing is your soil pH could be off too. So if the pH is too acidic, we need to make the soil slightly more alkaline. And you can use a pH tester, a simple one, to figure that out. There's another type of mildew we're going to talk about now, powdery mildew. So where downy mildew is on the bottom side of the leaf, powdery mildew is on the top side of the leaf. Again, it's kind of dusty looking bacterial growth. And this one doesn't necessarily need to be as moist for it to happen. This can happen in drier air. And this one can cause the leaves to curl a bit more, where the other one turns necrotic. This one causes a bit more of the curling of the leaves. How do we treat it? How do we get rid of it? Better airflow, removing infected leaves. Again, not overhead watering in the morning. And then organic treatments like neem oil and potassium bicarbonate work well on this one. You can also do a milk spray, which is 1 part milk to 9 parts water, and mist that over the plant, and it also will help with this. Last disease we're going to talk about is bottom rot. And bottom rot in lettuce, this kind of affects the whole head, but the bottom turns necrotic, and then it goes through and gets mushy and kind of just kills the whole plant. It happens from poor drainage, too much watering, again, overhead watering late in the day. So a lot of these can be prevented if we just try and water appropriate amounts and in the morning. Most of these are also can be improved if we rotate crops. So if you've got this problem, don't plant the same lettuce bed in the same spot again next year. Rotate your crops. And then we can avoid planting carrots, cabbage, broccoli, those types of plants in the same spot the year before as well. Those also will impact the disease staying in the soil from year to year. So we've got a quick ID chart here that we can use to help if your lettuce is having some problems. But the biggest thing is to catch these problems early. That's how we solve it. Rotate your crops, water smart, have airflow, use clean equipment, and then there are some disease resistant types we can get like merle or sparks. So those are all good